What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP. This is my co host, Josh.
Hey everybody.
And yippee ki yay, motherfucker. We are here to, happy late Christmas. I think Christmas
Yeah.
is literally going to pass by the day before when this episode comes out.
Merry Christmas,
Uh,
guys.
we did give out our what we believe is the top 12 best performing films for Bruce Willis. Part one's out right now. This one, we are still talking about Bruce Willis because we are channeling the Christmas spirit through Die Hard. Like I
Hmm.
said, if it wasn't a Christmas movie, I guess my final argument here is right now we wouldn't be talking about Bruce Willis around Christmas time if
Yeah.
Die Hard was not a Christmas movie,
It's
and it
not.
is,
That's not how
and
that
that's why we're
works.
here.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
Ask Peralta.
Who gives a damn what he thinks?
Yeah, no,
Deep
he's gonna
cut if
know.
you guys are
Peralta
fans of that
knows.
show. But yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are fans, you guys know who that is. Um, Josh, obviously, we have two different tastes. We have different views when it comes down to certain movies, but I will not take the slander if a certain movie's not in your top five when it comes down to Bruce Willis. Okay, there needs to
Okay.
be a certain one in there. If it's not, you're gonna be hearing from me very soon. You're gonna get a
Okay.
package that may or may not explode. I don't know.
Okay.
I
I'll
don't
tell you
know.
right now, I don't think so. No. If it's the one that
Okay.
we're thinking about, I don't think so.
I think it needs to be though. I think it probably needs to be.
Okay.
It probably needs to be. So
Okay.
maybe I'll wait for some adjustments.
All right. No. I'm not.
Okay. All right, let's just jump right into it then. Josh, let us know what your fifth best Bruce Willis film in your opinion is.
This was tough. I'm not gonna lie. But I think once we got through it all, once it was all said and done, Armageddon ended up being fifth.
Oh, fifth place?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I had a lot of fun with this movie. I do think it has its faults. I talked about it so highly in our first part. Guys, go check that out. But I do think like this movie is pretty solid despite all that. Like I mean, the CGI stuff. It is definitely a Michael Bay movie. Like you get everything that comes negatively and positively with a Michael Bay film. But other than that, I do think it deserves to be top five because it still has heart. I do like even if you don't like what Michael Bay's selling, you gotta admit in the package you are definitely gonna get action, heart, comedy, and some other inappropriate stuff. But pretty solid. I gotta give it to Armageddon for number five.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm right there with you on the
Let's
fifth spot.
go. Let's go.
Armageddon's my number five too. I do think it has all the makings to be an action movie. Obviously, had all the makings to make action stars out of everybody. I never would have even thought Liv Tyler should be in space, but the fact that they put her in this movie and put her in there was great. Ben Affleck, the music choices in this movie are iconic to say the least. I
Yeah.
think everybody knows the soundtrack by this point. Armageddon was just one of those movies that, even though I guess you could be for real, like come on, shooting drillers into space to stop a meteorite would never fucking happen
It would never fucking
ever.
work.
It will never happen. Michael Bay made it work though.
Yeah.
Michael Bay made it work, and so did Bruce Willis. The acting was superb in there. I couldn't, like I said, if there was a peak, I would have to say this is probably around his peak point when it came to his acting abilities. So,
Yeah.
Armageddon number five for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I'm with
delivered
you.
those lines for sure, and like you're right because the whole movie I was like, when are they supposed to get to space? They're spending all this time doing tests and all that shit, and I understand NASA needs time to run said tests, but half the
Yeah,
time I was like, are they just gonna shoot them up into space, expecting them to get this shit done? Like what the fuck?
give him like a 24-hour how to drill in space for dummies book and shit, and just send them
Yeah,
up there. Like, just might as well. You had to give it to Michael Bay for at least putting in the
trying to
realism
do
to.
science.
Yeah, they didn't just, Fast and the Furious that bitch and just shoot
Yeah,
people into a Nissan Altima into space or some
yeah,
shit, right?
and I like the
Um,
inclusion of Keith David too. He was the general.
oh, that's
The
true.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That's another little point. Armageddon is one of those where it's like fast paced, all kinds of shit just kind of gets thrown at you. You forget the little things within the film, but for the most part, I would say Armageddon is
Yeah,
one of the got to be top five. Bruce
top
Willis for
five.
sure. Number four.
This is
Should I
where,
give this one out?
yes, you go.
Okay. My number four, Die Hard 3.
Oh, oh, okay.
Yeah. Top five for sure. I will say, I don't know how it just didn't make any money, especially in the time where, like I said, Lethal Weapon was kind of like the leading action point, and this one basically followed that whole formula. As a 1990s action flick, this is the one where like definitively I would say you broke out of the whole modest beginning where it's like, oh yeah, we can't really do too much. It outgrew the whole, okay, we're just gonna expand on this shit. I think this is where like they found their rhythm and they said, "Hey, this is kind of like what we're going to be bringing to the table." I do agree with you what you said in the last episode. If these movies were probably made in the early 2000s, these probably would have found its footing a lot faster than the first two. I can acknowledge Die Hard 1 is like a cult classic and everybody's going to always love that.
Yeah.
I love the certain setups and like the brutality of it and like how they, you know, a lot, you know, the broker standing up to to the bank robbers and he still gets blown away. Like I respect the balls in the first Die Hard, love it, but as somebody who enjoys action films as a whole, I do think Die Hard 3 is kind of like that peak within the 90s, and I think Bruce Willis really brought his A game. So did Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah.
Okay, I can get that. I don't have it anywhere in top five. I do think it's top 10. Like if like this was top 10, I can be dead ass with you. This probably would have been like that would have been number fucking like 6. Like it would have just barely made it.
Yeah.
But I think it is pretty solid. So I can give it to you. It's just not there for me.
It just wouldn't make top five.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just would have edged it out. Damn
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I knew this movie was an edgy movie. It's fine though. I enjoyed
I
Die
had
Hard
fun.
3.
A lot better, a lot higher expectations than the first two. So I
I
get it.
guess the question is which Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson link up do you like better, right?
Yeah,
Like which one?
yeah.
I guess that would be the question.
Hmm.
What is your number four?
My number four is Red Two. This is where
Okay.
personal preference comes into it because my you joke around my Bing Bang Boom and all that stuff.
Mm,
I enjoy this one. Obviously, I acknowledge, like I told you in the first half, I think that it does have its faults. I think everyone there was just having fun with it at that point. They were
mm,
like we had so much fun doing the first one. Let's just take it a little less serious. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like if you were watching Mission Impossible and then you showed this one to somebody else after just watching Mission Impossible with them, they'd be like, "Is this a parody?" You know what I mean? Like they would
Yeah.
look at it kind of sideways. But it's such a nice little spy movie too. So I enjoy it. I think it's funny. Like I really think it deserves fourth.
See, that's funny because I would put it top 10, but acting wise and everything like that, yeah, I do appreciate that they are having fun in that film. The action is it obviously doubles from the first one. Everything is really good about that one. But yeah, I do think that this is where like they just didn't take it as serious. And even though
Yeah.
I do feel like there is a difference between that first one and the second one because the first one took itself seriously and there was comedy sprinkled throughout it.
Mm.
And the second one, it was bursts of comedy and just little things sprinkled within it with seriousness when it came down to maybe like the Storm Shadow front and
Yeah.
like that whole little stuff that they were doing with the relationship and stuff. But other than that, I do see why it just, you know, you kind of lost the seriousness,
Mm.
so you lost a lot of the audience with that
Yeah.
one.
There were
But
I
I
mean,
do acknowledge how fun it is though.
yeah, there wasn't a lot of action scenes and I think the problem is when you have Lee Byung-hun doing most of it, it's like, okay, he's young, he can get it, he can do those moves a lot better and stuff like that. Like there's only so much swag Bruce Willis can bring to the role being the
Mhm.
age he was, you know what I mean? So I mean, you still get cool moments. Like I mean, obviously when he steps into the
Hey,
car, it's like
go over there. Go over there. Just grab it. He just like opened the door quick too. Sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
Okay, one, two, three. I think like Bruce Willis does have like swaggy moments. You know what I mean? Like when he gets back into the car, like drive again and all that stuff because the ex was like help saving him and stuff. Like
Yeah.
you get cool moments, but there's just not as much action as there was in the first one. So I mean, I do understand it has faults. I just think it's a fun movie, so I got to ride with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is fun though. The humor behind it is hilarious. Like I said, I do agree with you. They are having fun throughout this whole film. It's just that I feel like that first one had that sweet spot. It had
Yeah.
that sweet spot where you could take it serious and have it, sprinkled out because I mean, like I said, having a 55 plus year old Bruce Willis basically playing the role and, expecting us to believe that they can do all these action scenes, not just him, but, Malkovich, John Malkovich and Helen Mirren and all them. I do think that having them within the role was kind of like, you want these people to be able to do spy stuff. I mean, Helen Mirren, I guess she doesn't do a lot of action. A lot of her stuff is
She's
like
a sniper.
shooting. She's more of a sniper and a shooter and stuff like that. But like John Malkovich needing to take a punch and everything like that is like, oh my gosh, it's
Yeah,
just
their age is
it's kind
showing
of
at that point.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So I mean, I do enjoy it. It's still fun. Red 2 on your top 5. I can't even argue with that. I would at least one of the Reds need to be on top 5.
Okay,
I agree. Um, my third,
you're number three.
my number 3, my number 3 would be the first Red, the better one. In my opinion, I like I said, I enjoy both of them. Anthony Hopkins is a treat in the second one, as always, but the first one, it's that sweet spot for me, man. It's the that seriousness. Bruce Willis was like, you know, this is where he started like kind of sloping off, but at the same time, him being put up against Morgan Freeman, John Malkovich, like I feel like he still had something to prove with this one towards the tail end. So I feel like Red was like that nice spot where he was able to kind of have fun with it, but also have that suaveness that he
Yeah,
usually brings to the role as like McClane or uh, kind of like what he was, a little bit of the seriousness that he was bringing within Armageddon as well, like that too. But this one, I mean, he was already older. He just needed to make that connection with the girl and stuff like that, which is pretty easy. But at the same time, it's kind of weird to see an older guy with
right.
such a
Yeah,
young person. So I mean, like I do acknowledge that there's some weirdness when it comes down to this film, but I mean, Carl Urban to kind of be there to pick up the slack on some of the action scenes and overall performance as well because him kind of like being that good guy and the bad guy at the same time was I just love Carl Urban. Him in
yeah.
any role is like amazing.
He's doing really good.
But Bruce Willis, I do think that he did amazing in this one. This is the one that I would recommend. And then after you swallow this pill, you can swallow Red too and just have it like a nice what is it like a nice chaser after you drink a nice bitter shot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
I guess I can understand that. Top five, respectable, respectable. You know what I mean? Can't say too much, but respectable.
Okay. Third slot for
Third
sure.
slot, yeah. My number
Okay.
three is The Sixth Sense.
Okay. Okay. The
I
people's champion,
Yeah, I
but
think
to you it's only third place.
okay, but top three is good though. Top three is
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I do like I told you. I think that this one is very much like serious and it has like everything you need. You know what I'm saying? Like if you wanted to watch an action movie, Red. You know what I'm saying? But if you want something serious with him, Sixth Sense. You know what I mean? You have a certain amount of you have a very limited selection with him for serious stuff, but he does really good in the Sixth Sense. So I understand the passion and stuff. I think it's really good. I think I just think there's better. So like I would say it deserves the third slot.
I enjoy the Sixth Sense. I think it being like the people's champ is cool, but I do think like I said, Bruce Willis gives his all, performance wise. So does Haley Joel Osment. Like they do amazing. M. Night Shyamalan was perfecting his craft in these ones, man, and that's
Yeah.
the thing that kind of brings down this movie to the point where, like, from a technical point, and I guess from like from like a movie standard. Like it just for me, it's just not one that would be top five, top 10 for sure. But I do think that this is, this one kind of is heavily put on the back of Bruce Willis, and he's not that serious of an actor. So I mean, him really doing a good job. It was up. Ultimately, I have to say it was up to Haley Joel Osment, and to put it all on the kid, he really sold it. And I
Yeah.
think for that, I would say that this is more of his movie than Bruce Willis's movie, but I still enjoy the attempt
Okay.
and I do like this movie for what it is. I just wouldn't put it top five. Top
Okay.
10 for sure, but not
Okay.
top five.
I guess yeah. I guess that makes sense. Let me
Hmm.
hear your number three.
My number three was Red.
Oh, okay. Your number two.
Two,
Yeah. Sorry.
my number two, uh, right at his peak as well. I got to give it to Live Free or Die Hard. Like I do believe exactly. I love the way that you put it, but like wholeheartedly, if he would have started this whole Die Hard franchise like within the early 2000s, he would have totally flourished. He like his he would have been at the peak. He would have been able to do a lot more acting within the first one when he needed to like portray his relationship and what he needed to do to get to his wife and stuff like that with besides just rage and stuff like that. So I do think this is where he rightfully just deserves his flowers. Number two, Live Free or Die Hard. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Like I told, like I have no problem with this one. I do think I saw it too late. I'm not gonna lie. I saw it like right at the finish line. It would have made top five, but I honestly don't think maybe any of the diehards like really get there for me. Simply because, like I told you, I was so let down by the first two. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna really enjoy the other ones as much. But the third one
Mhm.
and this one really blew it out the water. I can see them being top 10, but I don't think they make it top five. Not with as many movies as he's been in. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I do think top 10 is like solid for the third one and the fourth one. The first and second one could be debatable. Maybe the first one gets 10, and then I would just throw away the second one all entirely. But
Yeah.
I can see these being in the conversation.
Okay. All right. I give it to you. But yeah, Timmy the Elephant too in this one as well. I like him as a villain.
Yeah.
Like as a bonus, like I think every single one of them had like decent villains, like Professor Snape in the first one, and then in the second one it was literally the like the most known villain back in the 90s, the black dude. I just don't know him myself
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
name. But in Die Hard 3, Alfred
Mm-hmm.
Alfred was the villain as well. I just think their villains are very much top tier in these Die Hards. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
I think when you have the action hero ready to prevail, you need a good villain. So I get that.
yeah. You're number two?
It's red. You may be wondering why do I have both of them there. I really enjoy both of them.
Yeah.
The red, like you said, the way you put it, I was like, you know what? Like I really enjoy this one so much more than the second one. It has to be closer to first. I think it's just a really good action movie. I think it's Bruce Willis at his like peak. Like I want to watch the Expendable movies just to get like where he was at in those ones.
Hmm.
But red is the definitive like if I'm showing someone Bruce Willis, it's this one. You know what I mean? Like Die Hard's too
Yeah.
old. Fucking The Sixth Sense is too serious. I think red is the perfect balance for everything.
Hmm. I see, and I debated putting both of them in there as well, but
The
for
second
me,
one's too goofy.
I really wanted to like for him and what like he really perfected his craft with, and kind of like what you said in the previous episode as well is like that's why I asked you in the previous episode about like the fact that he didn't really change up for Looper. They made the his opposite basically change up for him. I was like, to me, that kind of tells me and shows me, even with like his more serious roles when he was trying to like really break past the whole action star stuff, like he could never like he'll get to as high as he needs to, but he can never just get to that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And that's only because he's more known as that action person and he doesn't really have to put in that
That
extra effort.
effort.
And then when he has to put in a little bit extra effort in an action movie, it goes a long way because you're just like you're not expecting,
Yeah.
I guess you're not expecting that within this film. So the fact that you actually get that and get a little bit out of him, you're just like, wow, that's superb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're put in a M Night Shyamalan film, you're expected, especially with like the roster of films that M Night Shyamalan has, you're expected to bring your A game.
Seriousness. Yeah.
Hmm. Your A game. So I mean, I think Red is rightfully. I think both Reds rightfully belong in there, but as like an action star that Bruce Willis is, like, I just can't be like, oh yeah, let's watch this action movie that is Red too. I think I have to. You have to sit through the first one to want to be able to
Yeah.
endure
Yeah. Yeah.
the
The second
second one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate that though. I really do. I'm really happy that that is like in your top five. Like as a person who like wants you to watch these films and get into it, I'm just like, yes,
Yeah.
fucking love that
No, I
shit.
see the vision for sure.
Hmm. Uh, number one then, our
You're
number one.
number. You're number one, right?
Okay, all right, my number one. I I have to give it to him. Um, Unfortunately, this is not just his film. I have to give it to his opposite that plays in this film as well. But my best like Bruce Willis film that I would show everybody and be like, "Hey, you need to watch this film" is Looper. I 2012's Looper. I personally is as much as Bruce Willis was kind of like towards his end spot. This is where I say like the fact that he this movie is as serious as it needs to be, but also it's still like a time jumping kind of film, and that you still have to bring some kind of seriousness to it. I think Bruce Willis, with the capacity that he was used, knowing that he is an action star and cannot bring that whole like extra oomph that basically Joseph Gordon-Levitt was basically tasked to do. He was the one that was tasked to bring that extra oomph. And then when Bruce Willis is older and he loses his wife and everything, he brings in that little tail end that I'm just like, I feel like he finds that sweet spot that he needs to for this film alone. And I that's why I'm like, I mean, it just sucks that he does not have the screen time that Joseph Gordon-Levitt does, but for the most part,
He does
this
pretty good.
has to be like one of his best film, not only just acting wise, but just like the utilization of
Yeah.
Bruce Willis within it too.
Okay. I mean, I get that. Top 10, I probably would have. I think. Okay, because I did kind of rank them like to see like what I was doing. You know what I mean? Because I can't just like off rip top five. You know what I mean? Like I got to see where
Yeah.
everything else is. I had that at like 2, 4, 6. I had that one at like 7.
Damn.
I I liked it. I just like I think it just suffers because there's not enough Bruce Willis in it. When he's in it,
Oh,
he
okay.
does really good, but there's just not enough. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like if you're like even with the Jackal, and like I don't think this movie is as bad as the Jackal, but with the Jackal, when you're telling me the bad guy is like Bruce Willis, when you're telling me Bruce Willis is like one step ahead and he's like planning and all that stuff, and then you cut to fucking Richard Gere and like the FBI stumbling to even get their fucking shoes on, it's like no, show me Bruce Willis being 2 steps ahead of these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I see it
Yeah.
because he was barely in that one too. So like that's just my problem. I think he just needed more screen time. But like I said, he's good when he's older. So I fuck with the vision. I see the vision. I get it.
Okay. All right, but that's my number one. I like I said, there was one movie, and this was the movie that needed to make your top five.
It's
If it's
it,
not
yeah,
there,
it's not there.
all right. Well, good thing I have the package en route.
No, you're just like yeah, send it to him immediately.
Right, right.
He catches the explosion on table.
You don't have a John McClane to save you, all right? Not
No, I
anymore.
don't know. Not anymore. That's messed up.
What's your number one, dude?
It's Unbreakable. I gotta give it to
Okay.
Unbreakable. I think I think even before I knew who Bruce Willis was and I seen this movie, I was like, I really like what's going on here. Just as someone who like knows comic books and was kind of like buying what the movie was selling, you know what I'm saying? As from Samuel L. Jackson's point of view and everything, from what he was saying to the comic book aspect to like even being the whole hero thing, like I enjoyed that. Even with like when he's discovering his powers and stuff and he's like damn I have these powers, I have to do something now, you know what I'm saying, like it's he's not like Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying, like he doesn't just go out and like start saving people left and right, but he understands that with this also now he can save the people that need saving and stuff from like
Yeah.
themselves.
Hmm.
So I enjoy that. I enjoy that. And like his kid is also, I think you said, is a kid from the Sixth Sense, right? The same guy, the same kid.
I think it is. Yeah. Let me double check. Uh,
Spencer Treat Clark.
oh, never mind. No, it's not.
No.
No, a
Okay.
different kid. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think seeing him also include his son in it, was really cool.
He
Like
did come back for Glass though. He
yeah,
did come back for
the
Glass, so that's
the
cool.
same fucking like the scene with the gun and stuff, and he's like, if I shoot you, like will you die and all that stuff, and he's just like, we don't want to have to find out and all those stuff. Like I think it was a really cool morality thing for both of them, and Mr. Glass being like, he has really good dialogue in here too. So when you were like, oh, just because of his opposite, I was like, okay. I immediately thought Samuel L. Jackson and him like being paired as compared opposites of the scale that he was pushing
Mm,
was pretty cool. The twist was cool. The fact that he orchestrated everything. Do I like that it goes off into Split and stuff? I'm glad we got Split, like as a movie, just because I like James McAvoy and stuff.
mm,
I think the ending for like Glass being the final movie and the way it all went out by some secret like organization trying to hide them from the world and stuff was kind of whack. But I mean, other than that, we're not talking about the whole extended universe. I'm just talking about Unbreakable. I think this movie just
mm.
is really good, really good.
For the movie that it was, yeah. It's I think it's great. I
Yeah,
think I could respect it being number one, but I what I can't respect is Looper not making top five.
yeah.
Like it's
I'd
just
give it an honorable mention
yeah.
because I'm not deterring
You'll
it.
be you'll be like, oh yeah, watch these Bruce Willis films. Oh, and by the way, there is also Looper. It's like
No, no. It's
you
like
lead with Looper, sir.
no. It's like if I'm showing someone this and then like say we only have time to watch one movie, it's gonna be red, and then I'm gonna be like, go home, watch fucking Looper, watch Unbreakable if you like the more serious stuff, or shit, pop on Armageddon. You know what I mean? If you're a big Michael Bay fan too, like those three, I go for. If you really want to dive deeper into it, then you get into like the weird shit that's like the Fifth Element, the third Die Hard. Like that's when you start really like nerding out on people
Yeah.
because those are the more like you gotta really watch him to go all the way back to the fucking 90s for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to put in some time for some Bruce Willis and stuff
Yeah.
like that, right? Okay. All right, I can agree with that. I mean, I always, like I said, I always just lead with red. I've always find that to be like the sweet spot, but like Looper is one of them that I always got to be like, hey, you got to watch it. You get like this is a not just for Bruce Willis, but just as the film as a whole needs to be witnessed by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't witness it when it came out, but
The
a
Avengers
lot more
was right
people
there,
did.
man.
I unfortunately got
Unfortunately.
snuffed out, right?
Hmm.
And then obviously, like I said, if I guess sweet spot, if I mean, I guess Live Free or Die Hard is a good little like slip into the whole Die Hard franchise without having to watch the originals unless you really, want to do it because it I think it works as a good little standalone film. I don't know if you agree with me
I
with
would
that one
say with
after
barely
watching it.
any connections to like the rest of them, I would say, you know what I mean? Like it picks up from an older kind of cop. They need his help. I think they give
They kind of
lucid
do like the
mentions.
mentions. They do like the little mentions, and then I mean by that point you could just be like, oh, I wonder what happened to the LA thing, and then you Google
Yeah,
it, boom, you gotta watch the first Die Hard, the second one, whatever.
yeah,
You'll get like those little like feedbacks, but for the most part, it doesn't feel as like if you could jump in the third one, you got to know like who his brother is. So obviously you missed the step, right?
yeah,
At that point. Maybe if you kind of get into the second one without knowing anything, but then they're still gonna be like, "Oh, you're from LA, but you also did a job in LA," and then it's gonna be confusing because at that point you need a little bit more context from the first one to know what's going on. I do think like Live Free or Die Hard is probably like a good little like slip into
yeah.
that world without being completely committed.
Yeah, I would say it's a little revamp because it's kind of like, I mean, they probably saw what Fast and Furious was doing and was like, we could probably do something like that. You know what I mean? Like, try and clean slate a little bit for this guy. So it's, I mean,
Hmm.
I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. All right, all right. But yeah, so with that being said though, We hope that you guys had a Merry Christmas. Let us know what your guys' favorite Bruce Willis films are. Like I said, we do have a part one where we kind of went through the People's Champions uh, Bruce Willis films all the way down to possibly what could be his worst or his best, depending on what era you lived in. As you could tell by my list, I'm more of a action heavy. Don't care about the extra stuff, but like boom bang pow. At least with Bruce Willis, I do think that he's more. That's where his lane is driven a little bit more. Where Josh's is more. He still likes seeing him in his what is it? His emotional bag
Yeah,
for the most part, right?
yeah.
Like Bruce Willis digging deeper than just being like yippee
Yippee
ki
ki
yay,
yay,
motherfucker.
motherfucker.
No,
Yeah.
no, he is yippee ki yay. Okay,
No,
he is.
no.
That is him. Let us know your guys' list where Bruce Willis films sit in your mind. What movies would you recommend to your peer group, or if they're Bruce not Bruce Willis fans, what would you start off with? I guess the conversation with to go with. With that being said, Josh, let them know where they could talk to us, give us movies to review. Our end of the year is coming up, where they can listen to all those episodes. And yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be part Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Film Bros Podcast. We post our episodes up. You can hit us up there for news and movies you want us to cover. Let us know if you want us to do another actor's filmography or director's filmography at those socials. Again, Buzzsprout, it's in the bios of the social I just gave you. It's like a Patreon. You subscribe, you have the show code. Greatly appreciate it. Listen to us anywhere you get your podcast at Film Bros Podcast, Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts. Again, wherever you get your podcast. Be part of the conversation. Twitch at Film Bros Podcast. And when it's all said and done, subscribe to our YouTube at Film Bros Podcast.
And with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.
Ooh, not bad.
Good
Good
stuff.
hour one.